Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Philly Fan Radio. I'm your host, John Myer, along with Dan Palmieri, and we have a special guest joining us today, Holdyn Barder, who is a country artist and songwriter. Holdyn, thank you so much for joining us, man.
Oh, what's going on, gentlemen? Thank you for having me.
Okay, Holdyn, first of all, how I got to know you was because of Instagram. Something popped up in my feed, and it was Go Birds. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if this is about the Eagles. Hell, I'm an Eagles fan. Let's just see. Maybe it's about, a bald eagle. Who the hell knows? And I was listening to it, and I absolutely love the part where just whispers "Go Birds" and you're in your Eagles gear. That shit is awesome, dude.
Thank you so much, man. Oh, well, what's crazy is that thing was it the video that got like a bunch of shares? Was that the one you ended up seeing?
Was it the one where you're on the museum or in the
No,
the tailgating?
I was actually in. So the first video that ever went somewhat exposed and viral was actually me just sitting in the room right behind me in my studio, just teasing it. And then we went to Philly and, we filmed on the Rocky Steps and, we went downtown and did a whole bunch of part tailgating. So if you saw that one, those ones were great too. But yeah, man, it's crazy what social media can do. And here we are today because of that. So, I always love hearing those stories. I'm so glad you love it.
So for everybody, we brought Holdyn onto the show not only for his song, because obviously Go Birds, but he's a huge Eagles fan. He actually works with the Eagles Foundation. He does so much with the Eagles. He comes out to see some of the shows, tailgates, all the other stuff. We're actually going to get his perspective from the fan side, but also what he's up to. So Holdyn, real quick, you're not in Philly, man. So come on, walk us through. Where are you at? What are you doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I moved to Nashville, so I grew up in Bucks County, 30 minutes north of Philly, obviously. Moved here in 2019, moved to Nashville. So I've been in Nashville for coming up on 6 years now, and which is pretty crazy to me. But my dream and my goal is to be a country artist and perform and tour and do the whole thing and one day win entertainer of the year and sell out the link. That would be pretty cool one day. And man, it's just this goal that I know that I've always had. And I'm in year 6 now. So they call it a 10-year town. Year 5, you get to, the first 5 years, you figure out if you want to do it or not. Year 6 is really, truly year 1. And so we've got so many shows this summer, but it's been, I moved here in 2019 to chase country music and went to Lafayette College my first 2 years of undergrad, then transferred to Belmont University here in Nashville, finished there, and been cracking at it since. So it's been a wild ride, and we're still going strong, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I listened to some of your songs prior to this, and really, I can't believe you haven't been scooped up in one of those singing competitions, to be honest with you. You ever give any thought to that?
Oh, dude, thank you. Well, I actually have a friend, Tatum. She's Tatum Scott. She was on The Voice last night, actually, if you tuned in.
Oh, wow.
She's great. She's on The Voice. I had some friends that have won Idol and won The Voice. I have thought about it. At the end of the day, and I'll give an inside scoop of it, they are all TV shows, right? And so what you what you want to watch out for is, if you win, and I don't know the terms and conditions, but if you win these competitions, you actually, I think you're tied up into some recording contracts and things like that,
Mm.
may serve you, may not serve you. I don't know the details, but so a lot of friends from what I've told who've been on it, it's preferable to go and get to maybe as far as you can, get amazing fans out of it and the exposure, and then bounce out. So for that reason, it's like either way, you still have to, once you get off the show, you still have to put in the work. You still got to play shows and meet fans, and you can't skip steps anyway. So, it could fast track you into meeting fans, but at the end of the day, you gotta pay your dues and do the work and play shows. So it could be good. It could not be good, but hey, if that's what God wants me to do, then we'll make it happen.
So hold on, let's talk about this song. You said you were playing around with it there in Nashville and coming up with it. I just walk us through, like, how did you think about this? And obviously you call out Dallas a little bit in it, because what Eagles fan doesn't have a little bit of Dallas commentation in it?
You have to. I mean, of course, they're obviously not even like a competitive rival anymore at this stage. But
well, they were back in the early 90s, right? Does anybody remember the 1900s?
yeah, exactly. It's yeah, man. And look, they have a cool fan base, but you have to rub the little shade. It's all love at the end of the day. But yeah, no. So I was like, okay. So I wrote a song called Stone Harbor, where I grew up. My family's vacation home in Stone Harbor. We grew up going to Wildwood. We grew up going to Ocean City. The whole thing down the shore. And but I spent most of my summers in Stone Harbor. And so I had a song called Stone Harbor, and I was like, okay, this kind of did well locally, with my neighbors and people down the street, and people started loving it. I woke up, it was on the news and stuff. I'm like, all right, well, why don't I write one about a little bit bigger of a region? And that's where the inspiration came from. And I knew I wanted to write an Eagles song too, because obviously I love the Eagles. But I was like, how could I use this as like a cool way to grow my fan base, sing about something I love so much, and do something cool here. So I saw an opportunity to really run with something really cool. So, but it took me a long time. I wanted it to be perfect. It took me a long time to write. I started writing it summer 2023. So it took me 4 months to really get it right. And I had most of it, 95% of it finished, but then my mom actually tweaked it for me, and a buddy of mine, Tyler. And, I just wanted to make it good. Like, why does this word placed here, and why is this here? And I'm just very like mad scientist with it, but because I knew that if I put it out, there was a potential for it to do well. So I was like, okay, it can't be crappy. It's got to be, well done and well written. And so it took me a bit of time. So we ended up coming up with the story about a Cowboys fan who falls in love with an Eagles fan, but she converts. So she converts into the Eagles fan. And I was like, oh yeah, this is great. Dallas is going to love this. So she converts into an Eagles fan. She looks better in green. She's freaking awesome. Goes to a game at the Lincoln. It's all over. And then he knew she was the one because she said, "Go Birds." And so if I have to be careful though, because the Academy of Country Music is in Dallas now. So I need to be careful what I say, but I would love to get awarded there one day. But it's so cool because there's Cowboys fans even that message me and they're like, "Hey man, like this is a cool song. This is really neat." So it's really cool, man, to see everyone's stories. And it's not even about me. It's about, the people listening to it, like you guys, and, loving it. And that's what I love so much about it. So it's fun.
Yeah. I mean, your voice is just top notch. I mean, listening to it, it's, you got a hell of a voice there. I wouldn't be surprised if, in a couple of years you're in Dallas, not only throwing shade, but getting some awards.
Well, thank you very much. That's, I work very hard. Actually, right before our time together right now, I just got out of a voice lesson. I try to stay on top of that. And, I'm a firm believer that, if you keep showing up every day, that's more important than, consistency is more important than, anything else, I think. So, as long as you just keep showing up, putting in the work and loving it, and at some point, you'll hit a breaking point. So that's what we're trying to do.
What would be really cool for you to sing that in AT&T Stadium?
How awesome would that be?
I'm sorry
for that. That would be freaking awesome.
Oh, and a sellout crowd. You know how many Cowgirl fans are going to be converting over to Eagles at that time?
Or I just kind of phase Go Birds out, and then I hit them and surprise them with it. Or you leak the set list ahead of time, but you don't put Go Birds on there, so
there you go. So they can't say no, you can't do that, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Yo, boys, we're playing this."
all the lights in the stadium turn green. I don't know if Mr. Jones would like that very much. But,
I'm not sure he would remember anyway. So Holdyn, Let's talk a little bit more about the collaboration. Are you working with the Eagles at all with this song to perform this song? Is it part of maybe and like doing it at the link for when they come out from a game? Or, I mean, I'm really curious because now you're in with the Eagles. Obviously, this awesome song. You kind of hang out there.
Well, thank you for saying that. No, the Eagles absolutely love the song. They're big fans and support me 100%. They were so kind enough. For a colleague I work with, his father recently got diagnosed with cancer, and they were so kind enough, to give his father and him tickets to the NFC Championship game, and a couple. They're just great people all around. I love being able to know some folks over there for that reason, is because now I can make people happy. Now I can make people fans of me feel something awesome from this. And that's really why I do music. And so, but the Eagles have been huge fans of the song. And yes, we have collaborated together. We have some content together we've made. And, it's only a matter of time before all that comes out eventually.
Oh, come on. I love how he's like, and it might come out. Is there anything that you can share?
Well, we did some content at the stadium. We did some content at the tailgates. We kind of hit everywhere. And so right now we're just figuring out details and how to make it work. But they were so supportive, of everything. And they only want me to succeed. My friend Frank over there, he's a great guy. And Frank has been super supportive too. And yeah, man, it would be so cool to one day, sell the link out. And I told them, I said, hey, this is a goal of mine. We got to make it happen someday. And, maybe we'll get some players on stage or something when we do it. But I think it's possible. I think we could do it one day.
Well, when it's announced that you're going to be performing there, you let us know. We'll be down and we'll share it out. We'll try our hardest to sell it out for you.
Man, that would be full circle moment. I mean, once I start, and I'm sure we'll talk about next what's ahead and stuff. But once I start dropping all these new songs, which I'm so proud of, I'll really be in a position to really, start amping things up on the next level and find some partners that want to put me in stadiums. And you have to play shows and meet your fans in person and you guys and through amazing things. And it just takes time. It just takes perseverance and love for what you do. And eventually you will get there. And I think I always tell my artist friends, I'm like, guys, this is a marathon. This isn't a sprint. This is you just loving what you do and doing it because this is what you truly love and connecting with people. And that's how I feel. And then, if I'm ever blessed enough to do it on the size of Lincoln Financial Field or even bigger, that's a win. I've already won in my book though, because, my music's inspiring people. So anything from here out is just icing on the cake.
Yeah, definitely. It's incredible to think like all these shows and everything, they make it look so easy and effortless, right? And then, I can only imagine how much work comes in. Like you said, it took you 4 months to write one song. Can only imagine how many reiterations you go through and everything like that.
That one was pretty easy. I knew what I wanted to say to Dallas.
He wanted to say "Go Birds."
I knew what I wanted to say, but no, it was just me trying to be I'm a perfectionist, so I try to make everything perfect. And sometimes that's a downside because sometimes you just have to go. But no, in this case, I'm very grateful. I try to make it right. But yeah, man, there's so much work that goes involved. That is a part of the whole music journey. Like just for a show, for example, Friday in Nashville, I'm playing the Mockingbird Theater. It's a beautiful venue, just 20 minutes south of here in Franklin. And we have a ticketed show there. If anybody's coming out, come on out. But it's, we've got rehearsals tonight, 8 to midnight, because the guys are working all day, right? You got a band to take care of. You got a venue to take care of. You have fans to take care of. You got to book your travel for all these other shows this summer. You got to show up, advance the show. You got to make sure hotels are good, flights are. I mean, right now I'm a one-man show, so I'm doing it all, which is it's a lot to handle. But I am good at it, but eventually we're getting at a point where having, I have a friend, Billy, who's been assisting me with a lot of stuff, but it would be nice to have a team to, at least book flights for me,
Trust me.
That thing, man. Like, just let me focus on the fans and the music, and let me just focus on the creative. And but you have to be able to do it all, and you have to mop the floors first.
That's exactly it. Sweep the sheds. If you've ever read a book. So there's a reference here. It's a really good book. Actually, I don't even know if it's called that, but it's about
off the Cowboys Lombardi shelf.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. Hold it. I'm going to switch gears. I mean, obviously, this is a fan perspective for the Eagles. I have to ask you your honest opinion. First thing that comes to mind. What you think of that Super Bowl?
Oh, dude. So what's crazy is I made predictions throughout the entire playoffs on my Instagram, and they all were correct, even by point margins. Like, not exact scores, but I was pretty damn close. And all my friends were, "Oh, what are you thinking next? Because whatever's happening is happening." And I said, we're gonna blow them out of the water. And I said it confident. I knew it going in. And look what happened. But it's not because of me. It's because of that team. They are so freaking good. I think we have a new dynasty here. I think Kansas City's done. I think it's just like New England fell. It's like Kansas has fallen. Travis is going to get married. Who knows, man? It's I think Kansas is done. I think the Eagles are the next foreseeable future reigning Super Bowl champions. And man, I knew going in once they started playing, dude, it was just like it was the easiest game to call, and then it just got better. It kept getting better. I was like, I don't know, it's Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he can come. He's kind of like Brady. He can come back. But then it just got worse and worse, and then I'm like, oh man, this is great. I think what did it for me was the Cooper DeJean pick six.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or and then when they threw it to Devontae, for.
That was the dagger, man. That was the dagger.
I knew, though, before that. I thought it was over before that. But that was really just, like, nice. You have to do it. You had to do that. But it was great, man. That was just remarkable. What about you guys? What do you think?
So for about a week prior to the Super Bowl, him and I were texting. And it was the context of, like, I can't wait for this. I'm sick to my stomach.
No, go back 2 weeks.
Yeah,
the first week we were like, we're going to fucking dominate this. We're going to do this. And then the second week, okay.
Well, the problem is you listen to all the national media and it's like, oh, well, Kansas City, they just find a way to win, all this. So we're texting back and forth. We're like, oh no, what's going on? And then during the game, we were confident a little bit going in the game. But when they threw that first offensive pass interference call, we both looked at each other, cursed at each other, and said, "This it's going to happen. I just feel it." Again. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I mean, that was probably one of the more relaxed games I've ever had, believe it or not. Yeah. But it was leading up to the game. It was just horrendous and gut punching. But when the game actually started, it was quite enjoyable. It makes me hungry for number 3.
When so Dan was over at my house. We were watching the game, and obviously that pass interference call was just like, is this going to be it? And you just wait for the first few minutes, and then all of a sudden everything starts clicking. You thought that was going to be the part where it's like, oh crap, they're going to fall apart, the penalties. But then it was just left and right. They were doing what they needed to do on both sides. The final score of the game does not depict on how well the game was played by the Eagles.
No, they brought in their secondary in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I thought they brought in their third, too.
They brought in the third string lot in the Super Bowl because it was that bad. I mean, they were like, yeah, let's give these guys a shot. Come on.
I mean, the water boy came in there, too. They're like, sure.
I mean, the guy they signed the week before probably played in the Super Bowl. I mean, what the hell? I bet that's how bad of a game it was.
Yep.
For Kansas.
Even Vic Fangio was just like, 22 points was not acceptable. But what did you want from your third string?
Yeah, I mean, but still, imagine you're just some kid that, besides Cooper DeJean, who obviously it was his birthday too, which was sick. But it was Saquon's birthday also. Yep. But that's how I knew the stars were lined up, man. You just know. But but besides that, I mean, imagine being a guy that just got traded from, let's just say like the freaking Cleveland Browns and like 20th draft pick, and you just get traded to the Eagles as, a practice squad guy. And then they're like, hey, yeah, play the last 5 minutes of the Super Bowl, man. Like, how cool is that? Like, I don't know if that's happened, but I don't know if that happened or something like that. But, like, that's pretty cool to me. So I thought that was a class act by Sirianni and Fangio to do that, for their younger guys too. But yeah, man, it's that was a great game. That was just awesome. I think that was even better. That was better than the first Super Bowl, just because of how improved we were. I mean, obviously, Philly special, you can't replace that. But I think what it did was, I think it gave me a lot of. I think we were less nervous this year. I think that we just knew we had the squad, and all they had to do was perform. And as long as they did that, then it's just full trust. It was the first year I really saw full trust in every single player, every single field. I mean, this was the year, and I think going into it, I think we were all confident. I think for the majority, I mean, it's Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. Everybody's a little nervous, but I think on the front, it's like we were confident, right? Like we knew what we did all season. We knew we played. We knew the Chiefs snuck by most of their games with wins and penalties, right? So
and refs.
Yeah. So it's like we knew what we were capable of, and it started heating up in the playoffs, and I wasn't really surprised, honestly. I thought it was bound to happen. But I was surprised it was by that much, though. Holy shit. 40, what was it, 41, 20?
40 to 22.
42, yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's only because they brought in that second string.
Yeah, it would have been way worse.
I mean, think of it. Kenny Pickett has thrown more passes in the Super Bowl than Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, well.
Great, man.
Come on. I had a poke at the Cowboys. Hell, even Daniel Jones, right?
Yeah. Oh, man.
I think one of the biggest things from the Super Bowl this time around versus back in 2018 is that, it was Tom Brady. You were still nervous. There was still a potential. They were always within. They were in like one possession, right? One score. And when BG sealed it, the Hail Mary didn't work out. That was all nerve-wracking. Here, I think while you probably could have relaxed in the second quarter, as an Eagles fan, I wasn't relaxed until like the third or halfway through. I'm like, yeah, this is totally over. I mean, this is awesome.
Yeah, man. I think we all knew too, because like the moment. I mean, even after the first quarter, what was the score at the first quarter? Was it 7-0 or 14?
I think it was 10-0.
You're gonna make me look that up, huh? All right.
It was 10-0, right? And then
it was 10-0 right before DeJean's Super Bowl or interception return.
Okay, yeah. And even at 10-0, I was kind of like, okay, this is going in our favor, but I don't want to get too hopeful yet. I'm superstitious. And then
it was 7-0, second quarter 17-0.
Okay, yeah. Once that catch happened with DeJean, man, you can't stop momentum. I mean, there's talent on the field, but then there's some X factor. The football gods are doing something, and then that happens. You're like, if a team does that, they're winning. So
they feel that from the entire team, all the energy, everything that's coming from all their players, it just magnifies 10, 20 times, and it just all starts to work. No matter what they do, it just starts to work.
That's right. And there's a quote. I don't know if it was Sirianni or Jerry Jones who said it, but it was the team with the best culture wins. And
that definitely wasn't Jerry Jones.
Been Jerry Jones. but no, it's but it's true though, right? Like that's exactly what you just said, John. When you got your whole crowd riled up around you, I mean, you're only destined to succeed. I mean, even Saquon, like when he was running against the Rams in the snow and freaking he was throwing his hands up like, come on, like that was awesome, dude. And he even said in an interview, he was like, yeah, that was the moment it all kind of clicked together. And then from there on, it was just, just having fun and, but they put in the work and, I can't speak highly enough of that whole team this year. Pretty cool. And what a perfect timing for the song, man. Like, what the hell? Maybe it was the song. I don't know. I'll have to do one every year. Well,
it should be you getting them to come out of the tunnel. Bradley Cooper, who? Holdyn needs to do that.
Hey, that would be pretty cool.
Come out in a little Dawkins style, be like, "Yo, go Birds!" Taking it out.
That's awesome, man.
Holdyn, what do you think about free agency here? I got to tell you that I don't know. I got mixed feelings. Seeing our defense looked like Swiss cheese. Dan and I were really going for Zach Bond getting re-signed, which was great. We were happy, but it just feels like, are we going to be able to be the same defense, the same factor here in 2025 with the? I want to say, I just feel like so many are gone.
Man, look, I trust Howie.
And Howie we trust.
At first, but last year it was the same thing, right? Like, we got rid of players, we added players, and then we got Saquon, and it's okay. Like, so I trust. I mean, who do we have? Mekhi Becton. We've got
You're talking about from last year?
Yeah. Like things change, right? It's like, I think needs to.
It's still early. I get it. We haven't had, the mini camps, everything going on. There's still some moves. I did hear, and I saw speculation that Howie might be trying to move up here in the draft, which wouldn't surprise me one bit anymore.
That's why I think he's making these defensive moves. I mean, he's investing in the long term, right, too. So, like, if you could get really, we already have veterans on the lineup. So, if you get a fresh couple D linemen out of college, dude, they're going to last 20 plus years.
There any more Georgia guys on the draft here in the first 32 picks?
I assume so. It's crazy. It's long-term investment. I think the key to this year, our defense was fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but I think Howie knew and I don't know the actual defensive stats of each player, but I think Howie knew the key critical players that were the key movers this year. Obviously Slay's gone, but I think Howie knew the key moments and the key players that really made a change based on stats, and they even have their own inside metrics, I'm sure. So I don't think he's getting rid of the key stuff. I think what he's doing is just, recycling, replenishing, making it stronger. I'm not worried at all. I think we can get another one.
Well, first of all, I think we can get another one. Obviously, with Vic, I'll tell you what, he did an excellent job. In the first two games, it was a little iffy, like, oh, man, are we not going to –
doubted him, too, man.
But I'll tell you what, the doubts went away within the first few games, and watch him do it. The only thing that was concerning me, Slay was gone. I wasn't worried. When you came out before the Super Bowl and you said, I want to play one more year, it probably won't be in Philly. Before the Super Bowl was the dumbest thing I ever thought of somebody doing, because where's you at mentally? I think Isaiah Rodgers was a great person to replace him. No Isaiah Rodgers. Okay, CJ GJ. They were like, it was just, I felt like that whole backside, that secondary was getting decimated from the free agency. Now, why we don't have the insights of what's happening behind the scenes and how players mesh, what's going on, we don't have the money, the stat, anything that had to play a factor in it, and Howie and them do, and obviously in Howie we trust.
That's right. That's all we can do.
Yeah, my concern with Howie has always been drafting. He's been very good as of late with the drafting, but when he started, it wasn't that good. So, I'm more pessimistic, so I can't fully trust everything, because right now I look at the picture and I'm like, okay, we're going to go out there with Keely Ringo playing corner. We're going to go with Sidney Brown. These guys were third stringers this past year. Now, obviously, everything's going to change because of the draft and whatnot, but they made some good signings, people, some players that have a high upside. Yeah. Well,
Come on, everybody doubted Jalen. He's the most underrated quarterback in football. I don't know why he's underrated. He beats in his first 3 years of NFL. I forget what the stat was, but it was like compared to Mahomes and Lamar and I don't know what it was. It was specific important stats, but he outclassed them in every category. It's like the dude's a monster. It's like, but everybody just, oh no, he's on the Eagles, man. No, they're freaking,
yeah.
that's exactly what it is. It's like, but how he got Jalen, right? And then I don't know, man. It's just I think this was a major year for the team and the organization just to be like, look, it's our time. Just trust us. So that's all I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the ride, man. So we'll see.
I'd have to say, I think personally, and I've said it before, that this is the best Eagles team I personally have ever seen by far. I mean, going back to the days of, Reggie White, and they had a great defense, they had potential, but this team from top to bottom, we looked at it at the end of the year and we're like, wow, there's really no weakness here. There was really nothing that other team could go into the game and say, we're going to exploit this.
Impenetrable, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were the best defense in football, even with all the injuries we've had. I mean, so the team I felt really bad for was Detroit. And
I did too.
It would have been scary to play Detroit if they hadn't had all their injuries. That would have been a tough game.
Yep.
I think they had the fire that we had in the first Super Bowl. And I think that would have been a scary matchup. Now, I also think that Buffalo should have been playing us instead. I'm glad Kansas played us because
I'm right there with you. I didn't want to play Buffalo.
That would have been if people were saying like, "Oh yeah, the Eagles played Kansas," non-Eagles fans were saying that. I'm like, well, all right, well, but Buffalo would have been pretty challenging. I don't know. Maybe next year we'll see. I don't think Kansas is going to beat Buffalo next year. I think they have a vengeance too. So it could very well. What do you guys think next year? I think it could be Philly, Buffalo, Philly, Kansas for whatever reason. Maybe the refs are up to something again. I don't know, but definitely Philly. I think it's going to be NFC Championship, Lions, Eagles, and then probably Kansas and Buffalo again, or Baltimore if they can, get their antics together. But I don't know.
I think Buffalo's in the running for it. It's their time to come back. They've never won a Super Bowl. They've been to so many, but they never won.
How would it be to be like Buffalo against Detroit, though?
Well,
I'm biased.
I'll vote for the Eagles.
Of course, I'm rooting for the Eagles too. But
yeah. I feel bad for Detroit. I really wanted to see them. I don't know if the Eagles were knocked out at some point. I was voting for Detroit. They were definitely the ones to go to. But I'm thinking, obviously Eagles. I'm thinking Buffalo's going to finally have a year that they go back. Now they're going to lose again if they go to the Super Bowl, just because that's what they do. And
maybe we'll see. No, they will lose. If they're playing us, they're going to lose.
That's what I'm saying. Eagles, they're going to lose. But hey, whatever. Dan, what's your prediction?
I want to say Baltimore only because they have such a good team, but Lamar Jackson always seems to suck it up. So I don't know. I think Buffalo is a good team, but I just don't see that number one wideout. So they're not. I would have liked to play them, but I called it like in the middle of the year. I thought we were playing the Lions in the NFC Championship. I thought that was as close as a lock you could get. But like you said, the injuries took place, and I really felt bad, not just for the team, but for the fans, because those are good fans. I mean, they've stuck with their team through 0-16 seasons. And,
they remind me of Eagles fans. Like they're very similar, societal. I mean, it's like Detroit is kind of like Philly, I guess. And it's like they're starving.
I was going to say the same thing. A mile, man.
Championship. Maybe the crime rate will get better. I don't know. I'm shocked at how far. Well, I want to see Derrick Henry at least get to a Super Bowl. I want to see Derrick Henry earn something. But I also am shocked how far Jaden Daniels got for the Commanders.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to see if that's a fluke or not, right? We're going to see come this year, see how well he does. And I think he was great for a rookie QB going in. And I was concerned going up against him again. So that was definitely one of the things. Holdyn, I'm going to switch a little bit of gears. You know that the NFL, the owners meeting just happened and something was delayed into May timeframe, and it was called the tush push. I got to get your feelings on this.
Yeah, maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah. It was branded as the brotherly shove, but it doesn't sound as awesome as the tush push going into it. I would ask you, and I still am, whatever it is, what's your feelings on this play and what's being discussed to ban the play?
Well, here's what I think. I think if every team could do it, they would. You know.
Thank you.
Every team could.
Mic drop.
Why it has what an 80+% success rate, probability rate? Why isn't every team doing a tush push? I mean, are we that good? I mean, I don't know. I mean, we won a Super Bowl, but why aren't other teams doing it? I mean, if every other team did it in those fourth down situations, I mean, does that kind
Some try, they just can't. They just can't do it.
Does it take the allure away of fourth down? Or does it is that a part of the game they want to keep as an element? I don't know. I think it should stay because obviously we know how to do it. But two, I think every team should do it. Why not? Why are you singling us out? Just because you didn't play call it doesn't mean we can't. I mean, all we're doing is just pushing someone. I mean, we push people all game long.
That's it.
So that's my opinion on it. I think it should stay, but I think it's kind of silly. I think why don't you focus on other plays and areas, and why don't you put back the kickoff rule again? And there's some other things you can do, but I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it should stay.
So the funny thing I got out of the meetings was that when they brought up player safety, everybody was contradictory to that. It's like, well, there's no injury status. So what they come out of the meeting saying is, although there's no injury stats on it, it cosmetically doesn't look like a football play. It looks like a rugby play. And I said to John, I'm like, since when do we give a shit what the play looks like? I mean, seriously, why are we caring what it looks like?
Maybe Mailata is the one who put it in their ears. Hey, we should do this.
Actually, he was the one that was turned on to the play. Like, hey, listen, we're going to do this. I mean, if you're caring about the aesthetics of the game or the play, Andy Reid comes out there, they do ring around the rosy and run out to the thing and do a play. You can't tell me that it's the aesthetics. You've got teams who can't stop it. You've got teams who can't run it, and they're just whining. All I know is there's one team we play next year, and I think we should just do it every freaking down because we get an average of 3 yards per play.
Go
and
Pack,
shove it
go.
down their throat. What's that?
Go Pack, go.
I was going to say the damn cheeseheads, but whatever.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I know.
Yeah, man. It's I think if every team could do it, they would, and they can. There's nothing stopping them. So
Do you know how often they practice that? They practice it so often to perfection. If you're only going to invest 2 or 3 times when you're out there practicing, okay, yeah, we're good. You can't run the play just because the Eagles might spend a month or 2 perfecting it and then fine-tuning it throughout it. Don't whine about it. Figure out a way to stop it. And first of all, actually, that just brings out to the point of the Super Bowl of what's his name flying over the top 3 times and still not being able to stop it. Luvu, that's right.
What the hell was that about?
I wanted to see them award the Eagles points. That would have been freaking awesome. That would have sealed it even more.
Dude, I kept watching that. I was like, what is he doing? I'm like, is this crazy? And then the ref was like, he was like, any more, we'll just give points to the Eagles. I was like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, tables have turned, baby. Come on.
I would have paid to see him do it once more. I think everybody would have started a GoFundMe right away. Do it again. I want to see it happen. I want to place a freaking FanDuel bet that it will happen again. That would have been freaking.
Yeah, man. Oh, I was rooting for 4, man. That
would have been really cool. Holdyn. Tough question here for you. Who was your favorite, or who is your favorite Eagles of all time?
Player?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great
I
question.
feel like we need the Jeopardy song.
Oh, this is so tough. It can't be a current player?
It could be whoever you'd like.
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Either Brian Dawkins.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh. Brian Westbrook.
How about some Fred X, because he always delivered.
4th and 26.
Man. Is it weird to say Nick Foles just because of the role he played?
No.
All right.
Not at all.
I say Big Dick Nick. We got to go.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say, he's got to be a favorite if his nickname is Big Dick Nick.
Yeah, man. I just think to be able to be that humble, I think what I think of is, obviously Brian Dawkins was a beast. I mean, he could tackle like anybody else. Brian Westbrook, I mean, it was Saquon 2.0. I mean, but I think the thing about Nick Foles is that, and why I think that's not a player that other than the Super Bowl people would pick, is because here's a dude who is the B quarterback most of his career. And the buddy had the humility to just step up to the plate when it was time and execute. And then he went back to being a backup again.
Flawlessly, too. He
Flawlessly.
executed throughout the entire playoffs flawlessly, and then the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it takes humility to do that. And then wasn't he a backup after the Super Bowl as well? So he's a Super Bowl champion quarterback. It's like you win the Medal of Honor. I forget the guys. I don't know if you listen to David Goggins or not. There's a guy he talks about who won the Medal of Honor, and then he goes back and he sweeps the cadets' bathrooms. He's a janitor. And this dude won the Medal of Honor, and they all look up to this guy, but they didn't know. They hear stories about him. They don't know who I forget the guy's name. I heard about it this morning. But he's literally their janitor, and they don't even know it. And it reminds me of that, where Nick Foles just showed up, put in the work, and he did it. And then he had the humility to go back, and do what he was told, and where to go, where to play, what to do. I mean, that takes pretty. I don't know. There's a name for his nickname for a reason. But
that takes a big pair.
Yeah, I think to do that, especially under that much pressure, with Carson that year, and mind you, we couldn't have gotten to the Super Bowl without either of them. Carson Wentz. I mean, once he got hurt, that was pretty much it for him. But I found it ironic that we were playing Wentz. In the Super Bowl. Did
you like that as the backup QB?
It was kind of fun, but I didn't think about that until now. But yeah, man. So I think Nick Foles is definitely on that list for me. But Brian Dawkins, man, you can't. But I look at all these guys and like I relate it to music, where they show up, they put in the work, and they achieve, they win, and it's like. Brian Dawkins, I feel bad that did he ever get a Super Bowl ring with somebody else? Was he at Denver when they were running, or
he was at Denver, but I don't think he didn't get one.
He didn't get a ring with them.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, he never. Yeah, so I feel bad for that, but it's like that takes humility too, to be able to not get a ring and be one of the best in your position of all time, and so. I think I look at that. Normally people would probably say Saquon. I love them too. I love all of them. But I think, when it comes to, I think humility, Saquon is a great example of that.
He's so humble.
He is humble, dude. He had what was that in New York to break his rushing yard record, and he's like, no, man, I don't need that.
Yeah, let the young dogs eat. I mean, he's he's from our area, and it's pretty cool because they had a ceremony at the PPL Center. He came in, he had a hat on, he was keeping his head down. It's like he didn't want attention, but that's why we were all there for him. Mm-hmm. And he sat down. He was very humble. He spoke very quick on it because he's just like, it's to everybody else. This is I do this for everybody. I love what I do, and he's just so thankful too on everything.
That's right, man. He's got a great family. He just seems like he's very centered, and I mean, you have to be to achieve that level of success. I mean, so he's a special guy for sure.
Holdyn, I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up. First of all, I know I asked you who your favorite Eagles player is. There one Eagles moment that stands out to you, whether you were at the game, which would be freaking cool, or you saw on TV that stands out that you will forever remember?
Dude, LeSean McCoy against Detroit in the snow.
December 8th. That's the date it happened.
Was that it? December 8th?
Yeah. December 8th. It's on my wall here, signed and everything.
Were they wearing the retro jerseys too, I think?
I
don't remember.
No, midnight green.
Oh, no, that was midnight. Yeah, that game. I don't know why it sticks out of my head, but and Foles was quarterback then too.
Yep.
So that was, I don't know. I remember just sitting in my stepmom's old house, and that game was on. I don't know what it was. It was like Christmas time was coming. It was just winter. It was like I was in a good mood, whatever. And then I think we won that game, right? I'm pretty certain.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Long shot. And so, but I just remember that. I'm like, wow. And the reason I remember it is because that wasn't really a good Eagles team traditionally around that era, right? So I remember that game because that was a special game. I was like, okay, this is what they're capable of. We could do this. And obviously it took us another 3-4 years to do that. But I remember that game. I remember there was one specific run by McCoy into the end zone. It was really cool. You couldn't stop him. So it was cool to see Saquon this year pass McCoy's rushing yards.
Yep.
And celebrate together on the field. I thought that was pretty cool. And then when Saquon was rushing against the Rams this year, it was reminiscent of that play with McCoy. So that was cool, man. It was like I'm telling you, like it all synced up perfectly. Like everything was meant to happen as it should have. But yeah, and then obviously Philly special. I mean, that's just, I watch that play over and over on YouTube all the time, dude. That is just so great.
So that Detroit game ended 34-20, and the Eagles first quarter 0-0, nobody. Then Detroit up 8-0, third quarter 6-6, and then the Eagles in the fourth quarter scored 28 points to 6.
Yeah,
that was that's the. I mean, total. That was when the snow was coming out heavy, and we just played the best game.
Now it's coming back. Yep, that was a great game, dude.
So I got one for you. I was at MetLife. I think it was MetLife, or it might have been the Meadowlands at that time. It was Brian Westbrook's punt return, one of the miracle at the Meadowlands. And I remember it fondly because they were talking so much shit to me all game, like just dogging me, like, "Oh, your Eagles suck. They're pieces of shit." You know, New York fans are very respectful. But anyway, he returns a punt, and I'm finally able to give it back to him, and I get beer thrown on me. That's why I remember it so fondly. They just poured beer on me. And I'm like, I wasn't even mad at the time because I thought it was great.
Hey, listen, we do that to Giants fans too. So it's
yeah, I can't criticize because I'm not going to say I'm not the most mellow fan when it comes time to it.
Yeah, touche. Yeah, that's funny, man. Oh, but yeah, what year was that?
I can't remember. It might have been 02, 03. I'm thinking back. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. I don't know. Do you guys remember? I had it on VHS. I've been trying to find the name of it for so long. It was
Dallas Super Bowl, maybe?
That's on 8-track, isn't it?
It was actually about the Eagles season with McNabb and going to the 04 Super Bowl with Brady.
Yep.
I couldn't. There was a whole VHS DVD on that whole season, and I used to watch it as a kid, and I can't find it anywhere. I don't know. It was a documentary. I loved it. I watched it all the time. I don't know if you guys have seen it, or knew the name of it.
I think I actually have, because I mean, we should have won that Super Bowl. That was another one that we should have just won, and it was unbelievable. But yeah, I think I have seen that documentary because a lot of it centered around T.O. and how he broke his leg and then he came back.
Yeah. I'm trying to find what that was though. I wanted to rewatch it just for old time's sake. But
That's like
yeah,
watching a Philly special over and over. I'll watch that Super Bowl, this Super Bowl over and over. Hey, what's on? I'm watching reruns of the Eagles win.
yeah.
Well, I still have the
It's
Super Bowl
right.
DVR.
Yeah. What do you watch before you go to bed? Oh, I just watch the Eagles.
I watch the Philly special. I watch the Dagger.
Or you're on a first date and the girl's like, "Oh, what do you like to watch?" "Oh, I watch all the Eagles, man. I just watch the Eagles."
Do you know it's not even the season? Yeah, it's Eagles season all year round.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Holdyn, did you hear?
Yeah.
Holdyn, yeah. Holdyn, did you hear about the Hard Knocks? Did you hear any rumors?
No.
Oh, okay. So no team is stepping up for the Hard Knocks
Well, what are
after
we doing?
after debacle of Saquon. No team wants to be caught on record giving away an awesome player and have it replayed over and over and over and having a tough time sleeping at night. Well, since no one has stepped up, NFL can pick a team.
Oh,
Rumors are could be the Eagles.
that would be so sick.
I am 50-50 on this. One, it's pretty cool to highlight it, but two, I think when you do these, it rips apart a team because stuff comes to light and they watch it and it becomes more media frenzy than anything.
Perhaps. I think. Yeah.
That's why I said 50-50. It depends on the team and how they can handle this extra media.
I mean, we've already have Jason Kelsey, for God's sakes. I mean, so we already are in the media, and I mean, we won a Super Bowl. We know what media is, so it's like it's just a little extra media, So I don't think it would. I think if you're, Detroit or Arizona, when Arizona did theirs, this was years ago. I oh my God, I don't even remember what year it was, but they weren't good.
No.
It was it's usually the teams that are like, but I think if you take a Super Bowl winning team, I think what it'll do, actually, we should consider not doing it because it might give away some sauce and some secrets as to why.
Tush push, right? It will give away that.
Yeah. Or all they'd film, they'll show up to every practice and film the practices, and they're only doing tush push the whole thing.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. And it's like, what the hell? They've been doing that for 8 months straight.
This is what all they do. What do they practice? Through 3 throws and some running, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, wow, hey, and a little bit of backwards hurdle, and it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah, no, that's great, man. No, that was a pre-planned play that they practiced for 12 months to execute for now. But yeah, it would be cool to see for the fans' sake. But I think I'd rather see more rings. So if it helps us get more rings, then good. You only win games by scoring more points than the other opponent. You have to score points, and so that's all that matters. That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that's what you kind of alluded to with Jalen Hurts is that, people had this idea of what a passer, what a quarterback should look like. And they look at the win-loss record and then they hold it against him because he's got a great team and whatever, And I told John and I talked about it all the time. Like, if you got Saquon Barkley, you should be running the ball 30 times. I don't give a shit if he passes it twice. As long as the final score says we won, who gives a shit if he passed the ball?
That's right. Well, what was that whole debacle where he wasn't passing AJ Brown and all the Eagles fans freaked out because
he said passing media.
It's like, oh yeah, and then he has 100+ yard passing game, and then
Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
It was against the Steelers.
It's like, did you get what you wanted?
I loved it. I absolutely loved him coming in to sit down. And he goes, "Is that what you all wanted to see?"
Yeah.
And then he should have just got up and left. I would have paid his fine by the NFL for not talking to the media that time if he got up and left afterwards.
I was like, that guy's going to win the Super Bowl. And did you know that his wallpaper, it was
yes,
is him walking off the field at the last Super Bowl against Kansas. They lost. So
he was asked if he's going to change it, and he says, "I don't know." It's a reminder. It's a motivation, and right. That is sometimes what you need. You need to be reminded of where you don't want to be in order to get where you need to be.
That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. And I can't even imagine that gut wrenching feeling. Like you were so close, and then you work your whole life for that exact moment, and then referees
That game was more of it got
That was
bad from the
that
defense.
was something, man. But I mean, I can't imagine that feeling like of failure, like that. Just that, like you let your whole millions of people of your town down, and that weight on you. But you just gotta shake it off. I think Philly met them halfway and we're like, dude, we still love you. We still, But
Yep.
it's like you can't fake greatness, right? And he came back and he's pretty damn great this year. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Holdyn, my last question for you is, what's next for you?
Oh, dude, we've got lots of shows. Let me pull it up here. I'll show you. We've got Barefoot Country Music Fest. We're opening for Aldean as a festival support this year. Jason Aldean. I'm playing a couple shows in Nashville. Playing the National NRA Convention at the end of April. We're doing a Key West couple shows. We're playing Chase Field where the Diamondbacks play, actually, in Arizona. We're doing
wow, that's cool.
A lot of cool little minor league baseball ballparks, and yeah, man, we're just trying to. I love Philly and Jersey, but as an artist, I have to play everywhere, and this is really the first year where now I'm kind of expanding out of my comfort zone, and just getting out there and doing it, and traveling to places I've never been to, and meeting fans and all over. I mean, I've never been to South Dakota, but I might be going to South Dakota in 2 months. I mean, I'll never have another reason to go to South Dakota, probably. But maybe maybe they have a whole legion of Eagles fans up there. I'll meet. I don't know.
You can go to North Dakota and see
That's
where
where
Wentz played.
Yeah, that's
where.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's some Eagles fans up there. But yeah, so it's going to be exciting. I've got a new song coming out this Friday, April 11th. Beer drinkers and a lot more. Working on an album. Lots of shows and just plowing forward. So all good stuff.
Dude, that's awesome.
Nice.
It's great to hear, man.
Thank you. And thank you guys so much for having. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys.
Holdyn, thank you so much for joining us. Not only talking about what you're doing in Tennessee, all the music, obviously the song Go Birds, but as a passionate Eagles fan, and we, talking about the season, how it's shaped up, winning the Super Bowl, and now what's next for the Birds. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Really appreciate it. And, we can expect big things from you. Absolutely.
I appreciate that. It's very kind. We'll catch you sold out at the Link one day.
We'll
definitely be there. Well, everybody, this has been the Philly Fan Radio. I'm your host, John Myer, along with Dan Palmieri. Holdyn Barder joined us to tell us all about his country music, the song Go Birds, the winning Super Bowl, his favorite Eagles all time. And it's time to wrap things up. Dan?
We're out of here.
Go Birds!
Go Birds!